is here. This is Real and Raw with Lynn and Brian. And you are Brian, right? You're my Brian, right? The one I'm keeping for sure? No. Hi. I don't mean it that way. Gosh, how are you?
I don't know what you're thinking, but I said nothing.
You know nothing? You say nothing?
I was working on my mime or pantomime skills.
Ah, I see. That's okay.
How'd your Tinder date go?
Oh man, why'd you gotta bring that up so right away? Man, that show was
details. People want details.
Yeah, but before that, gosh, it was kind of crazy. That show for that bar Friday night with having people not
Saturday night.
Oh, what did I say? Friday night?
Yes, you did say Friday night.
I don't know what night it was, but whatever night it was kind of crazy. I mean, that was just a hot mess. I mean, I'm just leaving it out in the universe, but that was a total hot mess. Trying to have a comedian come on her phone, that didn't work out. That was not. But she was funny though, wasn't she? She was pretty funny, talking about laundry and stuff like that, and hand washes. I don't know that stuff, but it was a crazy night. So yeah, that whole Bumble Timber, whatever you. Hi, Sandra. You were there, weren't you?
It's interesting, Lynn, is that you wanted to have him on the show, but you didn't want to talk about anything what made him your date. That you can't put yourself out there unless you want to take that information. It doesn't work.
But
it's kind of like, hey, Lynn, I got a story, and then you don't tell it. Why would you do that to somebody? It doesn't work.
So you stayed quiet that night so that you could interrogate me on Monday, and I'm 2 minutes in and I'm freaking blushing. Thank you, Brian.
Well, it's not as good as backstage, but we'll take it. I just wanted to see what he would say about you, but he kind of, he just kind of lets you guide the whole thing. So.
Yeah, well, we were talking before the show, and I was like, I'm doing this little show, and you want to hang out? He's like, sure. And I was like, didn't expect him to say sure.
Well,
but he
okay, hold on a second. Why would you ask a question if you were afraid of the answer?
I don't know. It was one of those weak moments or something. Damn, Brian.
I don't understand you sometimes, Lynn. I asked you. Now you want to come on my show.
So you've never offered something, and you just 9 out of 10 times you offer something to somebody and they just don't take you up on it.
Well, that's that. Well, then you got the 10% that did.
Oh my goodness. Oh, let's see.
Anyhow, hey Sandra, thanks for being here on Monday.
He's trying to give me a hard time about this Tinder, Brian.
No, I'm just everybody wants details, and you don't share details. What's going on?
The details is I don't know. There's still not details to tell. That's all I could say.
This is a bad improv scene.
Yeah, no, it could be, but I guess I could make up a lot of lies, but I don't want to do that though either. So I'm just gonna let that one fly.
Got it.
Because definition of what trust is. Well, not putting my laundry out there, but there's some trust issues. So that's part of it.
now the question is, are you willing to work on those trust issues or not?
Yeah, I am willing to work. Well, he's gonna have to really work.
No. I'm talking about you only. You don't bring other people into it. You.
Oh yeah. I'm willing to work on it.
Okay.
It's a good thing we got social distancing going on right now.
right after this, Lynn's gonna bump up her Tinder account with credits or service or whatever.
You're making me turn red now. Stop.
By every person she brings on the show, it's going to be from a different meeting place. Like next week, it'll be Bumble, and then it'll be, I don't know, Plenty of Fish, and she'll just go down all the list of them. Then she's going to put them all in a barrel, and she's going to pick out a name, and then that's.
Oh Oh, hell no. That would be funny, but oh, hell no, Brian.
Oh, well.
That ain't going to happen.
It's fun to create that narrative, even though if it's not true.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? That would be wishful thinking for them because speaking of trust and stuff, that night, I don't know if this other guy from like October, I don't know if he was stalking and saw my show and I saw a Tinder Brian on there or whatever, but he's like all Saturday night trying to say, why don't you come over my house and all this stuff? And I'm like, excuse me? I'm not coming to, no, trying to proposition me. Dudes that are out there, I don't care how old you are, don't be trying to think that if you haven't talked to a girl in 3 months, that you can call her up and she's desperate and she's gonna come right over. That just don't happen, guys.
This whole thing is really weird to me. It's like, nobody picks up a phone anymore or whatever. Now we have live streams and that's where people try to hook up. That's just really weird to me. I'm sorry. Like, hey, hot stuff, how you doing? I saw you. You got a really good looking green screen there. Hey. It's just so weird to me. Like somebody would give anybody any inkling that they're even remotely interested in you.
It's like, dude, I had 3 drinks with not even, and I still have vodka or Malibu rum here. Yeah, don't think I drank too much to be that stupid.
Again, Lynn, you scare people when you hold your booze bottles next to your screen. When you do that and it's all within like a convenient reach, we tend to worry about you. And then when it comes to Saturday, it's like, oh, where'd I put my booze? Oh, it's right here. Okay, what do you want? What do you want? I got ice cubes. I got cranberry. Yay! I got. What do you want?
Hey, so I have my laptop on my bar. What can I tell you?
Well, of course, there's no fingernails. It's all clean because Bubba made us work hard.
Yeah, he did. Oh my goodness! So
yeah, we all appreciate those of you that came on in and on Saturday, and we'll hopefully Bubba has a better week with
yeah,
and he doesn't run into stuff, and he gets a little bit better at backing up his wife's Kia maybe in the future.
Oh my god,
it's like an amazing story. It's like he can do, he's got a craftsmanship with maneuvering a big rig, a 70-foot long, with his full tractor and trailer, but he can't even back up his wife's Kia.
That's just, talk about depth perception problems.
It's like he goes to, like, I don't know, like get something in a lumber yard or something, and it's like, sir, you can back up. You're like a football field away. You can back up to the gate if you want. It's okay.
Oh my gosh, the perception is just totally something else.
Oh yeah,
that's something else.
So Lynn, while we're talking, would you mind looking up, the definition of trust, so we got something to work with?
Absolutely.
So as we're moving in, and we thank you all for being very loyal to us, and for everybody that's catching us on the replay, we're grateful that you're here and checking us out. Real and Raw with Lynn and Brian. We don't have a script. We'll just run with like a basic topic, and we'll go from there. And
excuse me, Brian. Do you want the definition where it says the trust in a relationship? It could be that specific.
No, whatever we want to use, but just so we have some context for today. Okay. So we thank you all for being here. We have spent the next the previous 2 weeks talking about relationships, everything from the definition of relationships to acquaintances to, stories that we had about likability. And this week we're going to be going into trust. And then next week we're going to get into a little bit about respect, and then we'll see where it goes, because we are coming up on the time of Valentine's Day. So we are going to be moving into some of those topics as well, but we want to be very thorough about relationships because, number one, it's a very big and deep process, and it's a big thing in our lives. But also, though, I don't think you can take something so big without going it in stages. So this week we're going to be talking all about trust. So.
Okay.
So in order to have a context, we're going to be looking at a definition, and then what it is.
There's 3 different kinds here, so
I'll just pick one.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying there's that, and then I want to There's the
I mean,
second one
and
there.
one of the things that fascinates me most about trust is that I put trust up there with integrity. You know, that next to integrity, which is, you know, you give your word, and whatever you say through language, you know, you either live by your word or you don't. I think trust is up there very much so too, and a lot of these different things within relationships work hand in hand. I know when we've done previous shows is that, you know, when we looked at qualities and stuff, my mind works in a hierarchy, right? Even though that it takes all to make them relevant. And Lynn's mind is different than mine from a standpoint of she's not going to put a number, you know, on them. It's just that they're all important at any given time. So
So, okay, so whoops. So there's okay, here we go. Why is that looking like that? Hold on. Sorry.
you put it in the banner below.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Take the scroll off. There we go. Here we go.
Okay, so the definition is a firm belief in the character, strength, or truth of someone or something. He places trust in me. So let's just stay right there and just kind of unpack this. A firm belief in the character, strength, or truth of someone or something. So what do you get? What words pop out to you of importance there, or that just really stand out to you?
Well, the belief in a person's character and strength is is the word that they have
Mhm.
that dictates to me if I can trust them because are their words matching to their action.
But, yeah. Yeah,
And you?
for me, it's character. You
Oh,
know, character is very
happy
important.
happy
Thanks.
birthday. That's my ex-boyfriend, 9 years that lives in Okachi. Happy birthday to you today, Ricky Rue.
Rick, thanks for being here.
So, and he lives in Watertown. So there you go, small world.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
So character, because you know, as we unpack all these different levels of relationships, it's like we have to have them all if it's going to be fulfilled and successful. And
right,
character is right up there with integrity, because it's like when they say that they're going to commit to something, and then you look at when they're out in the world and they may think that nobody's watching them, all of a sudden it's like, wait, here's what they said, but now what do they do? You
right,
know, so
right.
character is the biggest part of there. And also, though, it's something. There's something unique about the word something, because it doesn't necessarily have to be for a person. It can be for something they say that they're going to do. Like, I'm going to take out the garbage. I'm going to go do the shopping, whatever it might be. But it's universal. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any difference if it's a project or errands or something on your list or a person. Trust is universal. It doesn't make a difference if it's any of those things, which is great.
Yeah, I don't know what he meant by 10, but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and so let me go to the next definition here.
A person or thing in which confidence is placed. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Which and then number 3 says confident hope.
Confident hope I wanted in trust of their return. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, or confident hope I waited in trust of the return. Is that the return? You know what I mean? Whatever the context is that they're going
Like
to fulfill upon it. You know?
right, or in return, like can you trust them that like they can trust you in return?
Oh yeah, yeah. If
You
you
know what I
give it
mean?
out,
Like
it's going to come
yeah,
back like a boomerang or
right,
reciprocity.
right.
Okay.
So that's what I think that meant.
Well, and that's an interesting part right there, is because it's like, okay, like there's been many quotes over history or in history that have talked about, you know, trust can take a lifetime to develop, and it can be gone overnight, you
Right.
know. And so it's like Dr. Stephen Covey's example, you know, like with deposits and withdrawals, you know, is that like
Mhm.
what are you giving, you know, are you giving more than you're receiving, you know, in the reciprocity of that. Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what is trust to you? You know, like we can go into stories or whatever, but just, you know, conceptually, because it's an intangible thing. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, it's weird having my ex-boyfriend 9 years long distance travel, but it's a good example of we needed to have trust. I mean, nine
Mhm,
and a half years we had to be trust that we were there for each other. So
mhm.
we won't tell the rest of the story right now because it'll be vulnerability. But so um, oh, now I lost Brian. Not sure what's happening with his. I don't know why you keep saying 10, Ricky. I don't know what 10 is. Welcome back. You're getting so excited, and all of a sudden,
I did that myself.
yeah. Did you?
I
I
did.
don't know
Yeah.
why Ricky keeps saying 10, but
Yeah. I don't
oh,
know.
yeah, he's saying 10 years. We were together 10
Oh, 10
years.
years.
Okay, yeah,
Wow.
10
Okay.
years.
All right.
Okay. So, yeah, 10 years. He's going to set me straight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and he man, I always get in these vulnerable states, and he'll probably say that it was my fault 10 years that I messed it up. So
Well,
that's
but that's a story you're telling yourself.
yeah, no, exactly. But I'm just saying. So, and he's just doing small thing there. But no, it just things take their course, and it's just the way it is. But the definition of trust is it's having that bond, it's having that trust that you can be there. And 10 years. I mean, he's family to me. I mean, like.
Mm.
I'll always love him. He'll always have a place in my heart. My grandkids, I mean, all that. I'm 55. He just turned 55 7 weeks later, and yet he calls me a whole year older than him. But we won't go there. But the trust is he was there through some hard times when my mom passed away. My dad had um, you know um, open heart surgery and rectum cancer and bladder cancer and everything like that. He just always was there, somebody I can rely on, and always there. So that's trust is knowing somebody's word is good.
Hmm.
And it's really he's calling me a cougar now. Just
As they say, if the shoe fits, wear it.
well, you know what? I went to a school where our mascot was a cougar. So yes, I am a cougar. Damn it, I'm holding
Oh,
it.
good Lord. Well, we got to stretch that. It's like a rubber band. We got to stretch it as far as we possibly can.
That's funny. Well, yeah, he kept saying 10, 10. I was like, okay, 10 years. I won't say 9. It was 10 years. So, anyways, but anyhow, so yeah, trust is huge when you're having a long distance relationship. Absolutely.
Well, I think you touched on something that, like where somebody becomes family, who they turn into, the difference that they made in your life. I mean, these are all intangible things and they are going to be different for everybody,
Right.
But if we look at the people that we trust most or the people that are long term in our life, we're going to find some of those common things that we conclude as far as what trust is. You
Absolutely.
can confide in that person, you can say whatever there is to say to that person, you know you don't live life with a filter, now obviously depending on somebody's life experiences, that filter may be different than somebody that has experienced a lot in life, near death
55 years
experience.
old. It's been a lot of life. Okay, Brian.
Oh yeah.
Shit, I've got how many years over you? 14. That's just a few years.
Doesn't matter, age is only a number.
Age is only a number. You got that right. You got that
Only a
right.
number.
And you are wiser than your years.
Thank you.
You absolutely are. And I can't imagine 55. You're going to be so damn distinguished and so wise. It's it's like damn, because as much learning and growing you've been doing, man.
well
14 more years.
I fully watched your interview with Cheryl and Jerry yesterday when I had some time just to fully take it in, because one thing I learned about myself is that I always got to enrich my brain. But with the technology, it makes it so easy, and you might not even be paying attention. And I find myself doing that because I got so much I want to learn. I want to be a sponge. But does it really make any difference if you can't remember what you learned or what was said, especially to people that are in our world, right? And so I rewatched, with Jerry and his wife Cheryl, and a lot of that came out of there was exactly what I said, in the message, is that I learn best from people that are older than me, right? I might be a little, even though I'm a very extroverted person, for me to find where I need to be, it might take me a little bit. And then I double down on where I'm at,
Right.
where do I need to be? Okay, I need to be on this track, on this path. Cool. Then I'm going to go, and
Gotcha.
I don't need to have accolades. I don't need anybody saying anything. There's no filter either. We sure.
Yeah, we did. Okay, so he's probably gonna type it in there. I might as well have made it beforehand. So I burped on the first date. As he's like, a girl I can burp on the first date. and maybe some other stuff. But hey, I'm
Well,
just being me.
in Wisconsin, that's an attractive piece for women to do. So,
Well, we actually met down in Florida. My
wow.
dad was there having chemo treatment, and he came down from Wisconsin, and he came and hung out with my dad and I for a week. So that was a good week. That was a good week in my life. So, but yeah.
I mean, when you go to a restaurant in Wisconsin, they might not do it out loud, or they might, put their hand over their mouth, especially this day and age. But that's a turn on to a lot of men in Wisconsin is when women burp.
I had no idea. Okay.
If you, yeah.
I feel like I'm
I
just
mean,
like,
now if you go to Long Island, they're gonna throw you in the river, or, take you somewhere, and you're gonna be in the back room of a meat locker, type of stuff.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ricky, shouldn't you be working? Is there a lot of snow over there? He's usually working.
Oh yeah.
What's he doing in my show, man?
Yeah, it was snowing. It was snowing up, down,
Oh,
left, and right yesterday. It's like 9 to 12 inches.
wow.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I off topic a little bit. It's like that's another thing that irritates me. Is like people complain about the weather. Well, look at where you live. Number one. Number two is that do you have somewhere to go? Are you going somewhere? Oh no.
then why bitch about it?
Yeah, what are you freaking worried about? Well, do you got to go shovel? No. What are you
He
got to
he
worry about?
he already knows this, Ricky.
Yeah, we have some words that we've already established, and in
Oh,
in the unfortunate part about it is that Lynn emphasizes those words for me, so then they just stand out more,
well, and we've noticed that I come out and say pause. So yeah, played off now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
See, the
yeah.
thing, Lynn, is that when you bring emphasis to words that are, make it, the vernacular and the accent and whatnot, it's makes it a little bit like, hey, can you say that again? Can you say that again? Because
I know.
yeah.
Well, Ricky, you missed the other day. Ray Lee now says coffee. Had her headset on. She goes, and coffee. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
If somebody said that in Wisconsin, are you, ma'am, are you in the wrong state? You sound like you should be out east.
You know what, though? I think some Wisconsinites sound like New Yorkers, though, to
They
me.
could, or
They
Canada,
do.
or Canada.
Well, thank you, Ricky. He says we're great
Okay.
together.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks. So,
Yeah, I've had people say, "Hey, are you from Canada? What province?"
oh, really?
I'm not from Canada, nor am I wearing plaid. Why do you say that?
Ricky says, A.
Hey, hey.
Oh
You know
my
that they
God.
don't. You know that when somebody you think is looking at you, they're just buried in the design of your plaid shirt because it's so busy looking. You know what I mean? They're like,
Mm.
ooh, ooh.
Uh,
They're looking at the pattern.
my God. That's so messed up. Ricky has a Canadian that lives right next door to her or
Ooh,
him. Yeah.
right next to
But
her.
no,
He's got a
sorry.
Canadian that lives right next to her.
No, but Sandy, she's from Canada, and we love our Sandy from
Yes, we
Canada.
do.
So,
Hey
yeah.
there. Thanks for being here, Sandra.
Yeah, that's for sure. Thanks for being here. So,
So for me, trust it. I think it encompasses everything that we've talked about in relationships so far, but it's something that is undeniable. And in the knowing that it's intangible, it's very difficult to separate in the brain.
right.
Based on feelings, based on if it's personal or professional, if it's per relationship.
I just got to bring up, Ricky reminded me. Talk about trust. One time I flew into Milwaukee and he had gosh, what is a Firebird? 97 Firebird.
Ooh.
And it's green, a dark green, a hunter green. It was a nice car, right? And he's driving it and I'm like, and I haven't driven a stick in like years. But I said, can I drive it? He comes out and goes, okay, I love you and everything. He goes, but I don't know if I love you enough to drive my car. It's like, I don't know. I was like, please, can I drive this? And he's like, okay, I'll let you go. Like, we were downtown, I think, at this point, and we're like getting back on the highway. I was like, look, or no, leaving his mom's house, look, just for a little bit. And he's like, oh, come on now. He knows what I'm going to say, but hey, I'm being vulnerable and honest here. So So he pulls off and I drive it. And I wanted to drive it because he didn't know how to freaking drive that stick. And I hadn't driven one in about 12 years or something. And I drove that damn thing better than he did. So that's why he's like, oh, come on. But the thing I'm saying here, Ricky, and I'll give you credit for, is that you trusted me. You didn't want to trust me, but you trusted me. And then you're like, oh, shit, she drives it better than I do.
That's awesome.
But seriously, he goes, yeah, you drove better than yep. Yes, I did. But that was cool though. He did trust me. He kept saying, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want you. I don't want to be mad at you. I don't know if it's a good idea. He really he didn't know. He didn't know
with that step right there. I mean, his prized possession, he's got this car. How did that make you feel when he's like a little unsure, but he's still allowed you to do it anyway? How'd that make you feel?
No, that was cool that he trusted me, but I didn't want to tell him that I would drive it nicely. I didn't know that I didn't want to say, here, can I drive it so I can show you how to drive your car? But no, it wasn't that. It was just like, can I just try? Because I actually want to see if there was a reason why he was grinding the gears. But no, the fact that he trusted me, I really appreciate it. And then I didn't drive it. He's saying, ha, ha, ha. But it's true. But I didn't drive it very long. And he's like, want to drive again? And my knee bothers me every now and then, and so does my left leg. So I was like, no, that's okay. But I want to make sure that I could still drive a stick, and I did a good job. So
before Lynn gets in the car is in impeccable condition. After Lynn is done driving the car, it needs a new crankshaft and some body work.
Oh, hush. I drove my dad's car when he was going through rectum cancer, and the car freaking... No, but the car broke down, my dad's car, and Ricky gave me shit for it. Like, yeah, you drove your dad's car and you messed it up. I don't know if you could drive my car. No, he'd always let me drive his cars, but, his Firebird, yeah, that was his baby.
He's calculating it by minute how much this driving experience is costing him. You know what I mean? Like, okay, it's about a 30-minute driving experience. The labor and the cost of a new transmission is this. Okay, so this is $127 a minute.
Well, luckily, I didn't want to drive it too long because I didn't want nothing to happen to it. But I did get to drive it, and it was nice.
Right.
So
yeah, it's when it comes to these stories and whatnot, I think that there's when you're led by your heart, is that when it makes a difference. But it's like I've been, as you were talking, I'm trying to think of a definitive one and a definitive trust, and it's hard to do because I know I'm thinking too hard. Right?
You know what? I should ask Ricky. What were you thinking, Ricky, when you actually let me drive the car? What, seriously, like, were you that scared that I was going to F up your car? Well, I think Brian and I would like to know that one.
Did you see him like sweating or reaching for like his handkerchief?
Well, you know what? It was, he picked me up on it and there was like snow outside. Okay. He goes, yup, and he gives a heart. So what, what is yup about?
We know his name now, so he's being, one or, couple word answers, It's okay. At least he's sharing with us. That's
all. For sure. I mean, this is strange. I had Tinder Brian on for Saturday night. What the heck? Coming out of the woodworks, man.
It'll be Bumble. And then the week after that, it'll be Plenty of Fish.
No. Oh, shit. Dating sites suck. So
yeah. We'll have a Brian and a Ryan and whatever rhymes with Ryan. That'll be...
Oh, here. Oh, yeah. He goes, oh, yeah, the last girl I let drive went in a ditch. So I guess. I'm glad I did better than that.
Well, by that story right there, Rick, sorry that happened to your car, but that kind of puts a cap on, Lynn not doing anything wrong in your car. You know what I mean? Like, you treated it really well.
Yeah. So anything to step up out of that is better. Yeah, he does. So Ricky, there's a voice thing. There's a little microphone. You can actually talk in there. Yeah. But
and make sure that you look at it before you send it. Otherwise, who knows what
Yeah, the autocorrect doesn't work sometimes.
Dang you, Apple. Your autocorrect sucks. That's not what I said.
Yeah, right. Well, he's got some kind of accent himself, so I don't know.
Oh,
I probably won't listen. It's a Wisconsinite thing.
yeah. It's already got like a Canadian dialect
Oh,
built
get
in.
out of here! Get out!
Lynn
No, I
always
didn't.
drove.
No,
I was the bitch.
no, you weren't. You're such a liar. He drives for a living, and so he'd always drive here, and he'd drive a lot. He hates driving though, because that's what he does for a
Well,
profession.
yeah, I
So
could see that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Well, for
there was one time though. There was one time he's like, "Can you drive while I'm sleeping?" And we're going to Wisconsin from Billings to Wisconsin. Like, okay, we were in his Cherokee then, and I'm like, okay. I pulled off and we slept, and I think we only went. I think we only went like an hour away.
are we there yet?
He goes, "This is what happens when I go to sleep." He went to the bar. He was like, "I was tired." Oh, he wants me to tell you about his bike story.
About the bike
Oh my
story.
gosh. This is about trust, right? Oh my gosh. Oh, wait. He says I drove 2 miles. I thought it was 2 hours.
No, here, hold on. Yeah, honey, you go to sleep. It's okay. It's okay. I got this.
Oh my God. So, about the bike story. Here it was picking me up in Wisconsin. It was winter time. And it was a nice day, but he decides to bring his motorcycle, Harley, full dresser Harley, right? And I'm like so cold. I'm like, have these heavy coats on. I was like the Michelin girl. I'm chunky as it is, but then you put on these freaking big ass coats on me. Not even funny, right? We got my suitcases on the bike and everything, right? I think we were leaving his mom's. We stop at a light, and we go to stop at a light. He kind of jerks the bike a little bit, and I go and I go sideways off the bike. I go sideways off the bike. My hands are right by a little Honda Accord. And I'm like, oh shit. And I get back on. And the light hadn't even changed.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, yeah.
We were good on the bike at the stop sign.
Oh my gosh. And it was just, and then after that, we get to his driveway and just about going slow. And he's like, Lynn, you got to go with the bike. I'm like, no, I'm laughing too much. Oh, it was, yeah, that was pretty funny. That's pretty, but I had to trust him and get back on that bike, but I did it. I'm like, I'm so glad nobody videotaped me. It was like I did a cartwheel off this damn thing. And then we came back.
Well, when it's not enclosed, you can do other stuff,
Oh my
like do
gosh.
cartwheels and it's
Oh,
open air.
oh my gosh. Because you were a trooper on that. Oh, but I think, yeah, yeah. So, and we used to ride down Milwaukee on 10 speed, or whatever bikes. They're not 10 speed, but, mountain bikes.
Mhm.
And I'm used to driving in New York or Montana where, when you're on the bike, people got to stop for you. And so one time I'm getting ready to just go through the light and he's holding me back. And I swear, I got a chunky butt. And this bike was like a jackhammer, go like this on one leg because he's trying to hold me back from going into traffic and being killed, probably. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to fall. I'm like, let me go. And I slowly went down on the floor with my bike downtown Milwaukee.
Wow.
Listen, he says that she looked like Jim Belushi.
She looked like Jim Belushi from Animal House. Yeah, she's got her college T-shirt on. College.
We practiced it. Oh shit.
Well, I'm starting to see, Lynn, is that just by you were telling these stories with Rick, you gotta watch her. Oh yeah. Thank you for the reinforcement, Rick. I will definitely do that.
Oh shit.
Is what I'm saying. Another, since trust is an intangible thing, is that laughter,
Yeah.
self-expression. You can just be yourself. When you are fully in a trusting situation, you can possibly
Oh
bring
yeah.
forward a piece of yourself that nobody knows, or you do very rarely.
Yeah, and that's just it. That's right. I think I own the road when I'm riding a bike.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I
She got
do.
her earbuds in or whatever, but there's like 3 miles of traffic behind her,
Well,
like,
one time I knew I didn't want to go on this bridge, and we were going on this path and bridge, and I'm riding my bike, and next thing you know, it's like a 45-degree angle. And I'm like, oh shit. And it was either crash right there or fall right into the little creek and not know what the F was in the creek. I was like, but then I hurt my knee, because I do have bad knees, but then I couldn't ride my bike the rest of the way.
Oh.
That sucked. And he's like, haha, yep. And he's like, oh shit, Lynn, are you okay? You know he was laughing because I
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I mean, I almost biffed it. I kid you not. I almost biffed it on this little freaking dock. I was like, I said, no, I told you I didn't want to go this way.
God.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
It was pretty funny.
That's fun.
Anyways, see, Lynn being vulnerable this year, just putting it all out there.
Heck yeah.
Oh, shit. And you got front row seats there, Brian.
Oh, yeah. I'm loving it.
Oh, man. I'm so embarrassed. Look, I'm turning all red and whatnot.
Wow, that's nothing new. Come on now.
Oh,
That's
shit.
nothing new.
I know. That's why I don't wear makeup, because I'm just always blushing. So, anyways, happy 55th birthday there, Ricky.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, yeah, trust notes, it takes a lot for me to trust. And, I trusted Ricky a lot in 10 years. So, definitely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
So,
it's just by everything that you've shared and whatnot, you were able to just be yourself. It's the reason why, in my mind, the reason why it's tough to describe all of this is because, number one, it's going to be different for everybody and the relationship with two people. But then the things that, you might not even know or are able to communicate what those things are.
yeah.
That people are related to. But there's obviously vulnerability for Rick to, trust you with his car. And even though that you had no idea what you're doing, he trusted you enough that you're going to create a moment. You're going to create an experience together.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I obviously drove his car better than I rode my bike a few times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Ricky.
Without even realizing it, it's like, what's that for? Oh, that's for your bike. Well, I don't need a helmet. Yeah, you do. Hey,
Yeah, he made me wear a helmet. But did you see what he wrote here? That was sweet.
Thank you, Lynn. Yeah. She's 100. Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. You're either in good graces with Lynn or watch out.
Yes, I did. Yeah. When I said I drove his cars better than I rode my bike.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a pretty good driver, but oh shit, this is Roast Lynn's Day on Trust. What the hell?
You keep talking. I'm listening, and Rick's interacting with us. So that's usually how it works, though. When somebody's vulnerable, and all of a sudden, oh my god, I said all that. Oh my god. Oh my god. What am I gonna do?
Shit. I swear, if people watch all my shows, man, they can write my book for me. Let me know.
Yeah. Send me the transcript. I'll go through it and just copy and paste.
Yeah. A few more months, I'll have my book written.
So just keep all this vulnerability coming out. Lynn will be like, wait a minute, I said that? I said that? Back on February 1st, I said that.
Yeah. I need to write this chapter. Who the hell has a show and has their ex-boyfriend of 10 years show up?
No, that's too damn long. You got to shorten that stuff.
What do you say?
I had to take on the world when you rode.
Yeah, he's like, I swear, he must have had beginner bike person ahead or some shit like that.
Oh, he's got the.
And then he razzed me. Okay, pedal, pedal, pedal. Okay, he didn't understand. I was riding the bike to always, just because I was a bodybuilder and have chunky thighs, I would just exercise, have it lower gear, so I would be pedaling more, right, for exercise. And he's like, pedal, 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 because you ain't going nowhere as fast. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm just exercising. So he picked on me because he'd see my little short legs just going, and not getting anywhere. So, like, shut up.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, I could just see like a construction sign or something like that, or the blinky lights.
And I didn't even bring him to the bar.
I can just totally see that where it's like blink, blink, caution, caution.
I love you too, Ricky Roo.
Ricky Roo, Ricky Roo.
Yep, I call him Ricky Roo. Oh shit, this cracking me up. Awkward. Oh my gosh, Ricky's friend Tracy has become a good friend of mine. You guys are cracking me up. I don't know what telling it's supposed to be Lynn and Brian show. It's all about Ricky and Lynn. How the hell this happened? But it's Ricky's birthday, Tracy. So make sure you say happy
Oh,
birthday to him. Yep, red light. I think this video is going to be like not make it to YouTube. Oh, it's on YouTube now, but I don't know how long it's going to stay there.
yeah.
Oh shit.
Well, at least if people didn't know who you are, now they will after this episode.
I guess so, right? Yeah. So anyhow, but yeah, no, there was, you had to have a lot of trust in a relationship, and yeah, so there's just a lot of stories to tell. A lot of stories to tell. So
Yeah, there's a lot of I'm just trying to think of, and that's the thing is that depending on how trust, the stories may or may not, just pop out, because there's so many different layers of it. And if somebody's going to be in your life, they've been in your life for a while, and you've worked at it. But if
yeah,
you laugh at yourself, 100%, Tracy. 100%.
absolutely, Tracy. That's what we're talking about. And I laugh a lot at myself. I mean, because Ricky knows he's like, that's what I love about you. You're not scared to try anything. And I'm like, yeah. Uh, oh, there's more, but trust is number one. Absolutely.
Of
Oh, there's
course,
more.
there's
Shit.
always more.
Yeah, there's always more. So, but I love you too, Tracy. Thank you for being here. Yeah. You know what? Brian lives in Watertown, Wisconsin. Talk about a small world, huh? So, yeah. And then we know Tom Ginn lives in Oconomowoc, right by where Ricky lives. It's like, damn, it's like I'm not done with that town yet. So, anyways, so, anyways.
Might have to find another Trans Am and drive it in Milwaukee sometime.
Cracks me up. So, and Tracy and Ricky, yeah, Brian is a wedding officiant, and
I'm not
he,
a magician.
well, no, you're a wedding planner,
Designer.
a designer, and producer, and all that stuff. So, and he's done comedy, improvs, and stuff. So, yeah, so it's been pretty cool. She She loves, yeah. Well, yep, I do love Wisconsin people. Yeah, she meant to say loves. Yep, I do. That's my other family there is Wisconsin. Absolutely. It just keeps pulling me back there somehow.
Heck yeah, it's all the freaking cheese curds and the spotted cow.
Oh man, yeah. Oh, speaking of cows, Ricky stopped one time for me because I thought it was so cool to see all these cows. And I go out there and I'm serious. And he's like, look at you, you're happy. I'm like, hi, cows. I live in Montana and I don't see as many cows as I do in Wisconsin.
Let me ask you a question, Lynn. What were you expecting the cows to do?
Well, they came by me, didn't they, Ricky? Yeah, it's an ugly ass picture of me by the cows, but yeah, they did. That's cool. I didn't know. I didn't know Tony was an ordained minister. How about that? Her husband. But yeah, we were on our way to the airport, and I saw these cows. I'm like, I want pictures with the cows, and we went ahead and took pictures with the cows. So yeah.
Were
And
they
Ricky,
black and white cows?
yes, they were black and white cows. But Ricky can also tell you is I'm the kind of girl that I might be pissed off 1 minute, and he'll never forget this, and he'll tell this story, so I'll tell it for him. Is one day I was so pissed off, and we needed to go somewhere, and of course, Ricky likes to be a little late. He ain't going there, but I've mentioned that before. That's the only thing I didn't love about Ricky is him being late. So, anyways, so the funny thing is I was ticked off. I was running late, and then I go outside and I see snowflakes, and I was just all happy. I'm like, there are snowflakes. He goes, you go from being pissed off to being really happy. I'm like, yeah, snowflakes. So that's how long I stay mad. Tracy says, I thought it was standard to talk to Wisconsin cows.
Wow.
She's not saying much about you being in Wisconsin right now, Brian.
That's okay. I can't remember. Maybe I did it when I was a kid, but that's new to me that people talk to cows. So.
Uh,
No, if they are from out of state, that's a little bit different because not every state has cows, but
yeah, we have beef cows, but not black and white ones all the time, like you said.
well, these are dairy cows, so yeah, they'd be a little bit different.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah. Well, the brown ones are chocolate milk, right?
Yeah. My parents told me that farce for many, many years. Yeah. Hey, Brian, you know where the chocolate milk comes from? Those brown cows.
And you didn't believe them. You didn't have trust in your parents telling you the
No,
truth.
I was a very mischievous little kid, so I'm gonna find out for myself, type
So,
of thing.
so speaking of trust, let's take this a little bit deeper here. As far as
Yeah.
yeah, when you were younger, I mean, did you trust most of the things your parents said were true?
My dad was. Let me
Like with
answer that by
Santa Claus and all that?
well. Let me answer that by two different ways.
Okay.
My dad was very direct. He was very old school. Back in the day when your butt hurt a little bit if you got in trouble, right?
Yeah.
They don't do that anymore, right? My mom was kind of the middle person where she wanted me to experience life, and if I got in trouble, well, then I would have to deal with the repercussions.
Right.
And so the different parenting styles is that my mom was more open, my dad was more strict. Um, what I can say though about how I was disciplined for trust is that it's better to have a few great friends than a lot of not so great friends or people that are just don't match up, right? Like the people you invest the most of your time with because if you're independent, what's going to stop you? It's going to be those people that matter most to you, right? Because if you're independent and you're driven, what do you need a lot of people for in your life? Because you're in a space where you need to go in the world, right? And you can either double down on the people that are really meant to be there or the ones that are just in that part of your life. And
Yeah.
so for me, trust doesn't come easy at all. She was posing like a model. She liked her picture taken, haha. She said claws. Butt hurt a lot when little.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess what I'm getting at is, so did you always trust your parents and then it come to a point where you just found like you mistrusted them?
No, I always trusted my parents that they had my best interest. I feel that sometimes though the trust was a little bit clouded.
Yeah.
That like based on the times, based on growing up, that they have no other kid. And this isn't a knock for them because they raised me the best way that they knew how. Because it's not like there was a test, kid
Yeah.
where that's out some other, a brother or sister. You know,
Right.
but my trust was learned through action. My trust was learned through word, you know, and what I found in other, people that were other classmates that were only children as well. It was interesting. I either
Yeah.
gravitated towards people that were only children, so they were doing their own thing. They didn't care what anybody else thought about them, or older people, like people older than myself.
Right.
So that's where Jerry comes into play, where it's like
Gotcha.
all my life, I was always fascinated by what I could learn from somebody older than me. And it's not like I actually consciously thought about it. It just happened that way. You know?
Right.
So my mom was a little bit more lax about, trusting and whatnot instead of like forcing it, or it felt like a force thing, you know. Um, but and my mindset might be a little clouded because I was an only child and I had to learn, either from my parents or I learned on the streets. I learned from people,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah. Tracy put here, my
when
dad. Oh,
he
go
said
ahead.
said to question everything, including him, I thought he was wrong. Yeah. I mean, my
Yeah.
dad was one of the things that I didn't agree with, and this was before my dad passed away, is that one of the things when he passed away, we had our differences, and loved him with all my heart, but we had differences of the life that he envisioned for me to have and the one I wanted for myself. Those were not aligned by any stretch, and I think that crushed him a little bit. you know that what in his mind, it's like, okay, I was the first person in my family to go to college, okay, which I'm honored and blessed for, and they paid for a majority of that, right? Still had a loan and stuff, but you get a college degree, you find a job, You get married, you have kids, you live happily ever after, you work for 40 years, then you retire, right?
I don't
Whatever
know what world.
that's not me, right? But also though, coming from the source of it, my dad was one of I think 12 kids.
Wow.
He never, he got his high school diploma, but he was raised on a farm, and that's when they had a lot of kids. The kids were the labor for the farm instead
Tr-
of hiring people.
Tracy has a good question for you.
What would you change if you were here? Um, I would I would just want him to know. I just would want to know if he's proud of me or not.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
You know what I mean? Like that's been one thing, and tell him that I love him and actually get a response versus having it be through his spirit, you know?
Now, did you not tell your dad you loved him that often, or?
I did, but I think it just fell by the wayside because
Yeah.
of the indifference.
Yeah.
That it didn't matter because the actions he wanted me to take were not the one was not what I wanted to do. I didn't
Right.
want to do the 9 to 5 for 50 years, and that lifestyle wasn't for me. You know?
Yeah, and mostly he figured that structure for you just because he wanted you to, be provided for, provide for yourself and not worry about you being in this world by yourself. So I'm sure that was his standard of thinking that that's the only way you're going to succeed in life.
No, I mean, I've said it, you need to trust that he knew. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most fulfilling things was a buddy of mine, Gary. He lives right outside of Chicago, and he has his master's in theology. And shortly after my dad passed away, he goes, "Did you love your dad?" Because not everybody has the ability when somebody is ready to go to heaven that they actually get to say goodbye, right? It is a blessing to say goodbye versus not having the chance at all, right? I didn't have a chance to say goodbye, and that's how life works. So he goes, "Did you love your dad?" And I said, "Absolutely." He goes, "That's all he needs to know." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"What do you mean? What do you mean? I never had a chance to say goodbye." And he goes, "Brian, what you need to realize, if you believe this might not be for everybody, but if you believe that your dad's spirit is still alive, right? And this is not a religious show or anything like that. But he goes, if you believe that your dad's spirit left his physical body before he passed away, that's why he's still here with you. You just can't see him, you know? And that offered me a lot of clarity. That offered me a lot of love inside of my heart, that even though I can't see him, that I want to continue my legacy, and something that he helped me create, that he was a stand for me to do,
Absolutely.
you know.
Ricky Ricky even says he knew. So yeah, so now I told you, you got to hurry up and get engaged and have a kid. I told you that. I know your girlfriend's probably watching now, so but
She may or may not be. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Ricky says true. He is.
Yeah.
So
It's one of the it's one of those things that I went back. I mean, it was not even like it was like 4 years ago when I told him I had to just let go. Like, it was a couple days after his birthday, June 20th of 16 or 17. And I'm just going on my walk, and I'm like, "Dad, I can't deal with this burden anymore. I need to let you go." Because for 8 years I took his death and I made it personal. I put it on myself that I'm the one that did it.
oh. Well, on a different note, Ricky says run when I said you got to get married, have a kid, and then
Well,
he goes kidding.
Rick, Lynn was very, very direct with that. Like,
Yeah.
do this, do this, like it's a shopping list. Like,
Well, I think you're going to be a good dad. You know, I think you're going to be a good dad. You got a lot of wisdom to give. So,
oh,
but there is no manual when kids come, and they do change your life, and that's basically. Ricky wasn't kidding about that
kidding, kidding.
part. But
Here's what he really meant to say. Da 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 da.
kidding. Oh my goodness. So,
No, but
and
does that answer your question, Lynn, in terms of trust and things like that?
yeah,
So then,
yeah, for sure. I trusted my parents for a long time, and then it was hard to trust my mom after my grandmother died, and then her other kids started showing up, and when her other kids started showing up, she told me, "Yeah, they're your brother or sister," in front of them. And then she lied to me and told me, "No, their mother's dead. I'm really their aunt, and they're really your cousin." And then when I got a little bit older to know that she left us, and then I realized that she, you know, that truly they were my brothers and sisters because my uncle told me. And it was just hard to believe that, it was hard to trust your mom couldn't tell you the truth. But of course, I mean, I'm older now and I know better, and those weren't things you talked about or whatever, but I'm just saying that that really changed my trust for what they were saying and what they were doing, and feeling like, at a young age, being an aunt and having another sibling, I mean, it was a great time to tell me. I mean, I didn't need to know the logistics, just let it be.
Mhm.
But to make a story and have me think one thing when I realized you lied to me, that made it, very difficult. So
Back to
back
work
to
now for me. Love getting in on this session. I enjoyed this talk. Nice to
uh,
meet you. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Very nice to have you here.
yeah, she lives in Muskego, right? Is it
Oh, sure.
Muskego?
Yeah, yeah.
It's Muskego, right, Tracy? I think it's Muskego that she lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mosquito's
So
a nice little place to
yeah.
let's
So
have lunch.
I love you, Tracy. Thank you for being here. So that's really cool. But yeah. So, anyways, so yeah, trust. And then it was always hard because I'm like, gosh, if you can't trust your parents, who can you trust? That was an issue I had very very long time. So,
Yeah.
but for yeah, Muskego. Yep, I see. I
Mosquito.
remembered. So
Yep.
yeah. So but
So
anyways,
what's our question for tomorrow, Lynn? What is our
okay.
action step?
All right. Our question for tomorrow.
So the action step or question that if you'd like to go on this journey with us, and take this a little bit deeper, ask yourself, when you trust someone, how do they make you feel? I know that just by Lynn telling stories about her and Rick, that there was fun, there was care, there was trust, there was respect. How does that make you feel? Because that is a key in all of this. How does somebody's presence and being around them make you feel? You know, you may forget the occurrences or the situations, but you're never going to forget, as Maya Angelou said, how you felt in those moments. And so, if you'd like to take that on, we'd love to hear your responses tomorrow. When you trust someone, how do they make you feel?
Absolutely. Well, this has been fun. Happy birthday again, Ricky. That was just, yeah, that was fun.
Glad to have you
Um,
here, Rick, and sharing with us.
yeah, and his name is Ricky, but he put Rick because his son took the name on bait. Yeah, so he's really Ricky, not Rick.
Okay.
So just so you know. But yeah, he got in trouble. His teacher told him when he said, "My name's Ricky," the nun said, "No, it's not. You're lying to me." He got a little in trouble when he brought his birth certificate to show her she was wrong.
Well, I just thought maybe, at a young age, he was just, he was, if he ever got in trouble, they could always call him by the wrong name. Hey,
So yeah,
Ricky.
uh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's me. That's me.
yeah.
What?
He said thank you guys. So yeah, you said happy birthday to him too.
Nice to meet
So
you, Rick.
yeah. Well, hey, let me sign off here. You stay right there. You guys have a good one, and we'll be back tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Them penguins. Oh my gosh. Oh, I can't hit the end button fast enough here. Hold on.